they offer me 40 hours of community service. Is that still on the table?
Okay.
If I enter like an oral motion of dismissal based on constitutional grounds, are you standing on your constitutional oath? Yeah, it says automobile, horse, drawn wagon, or carriage.
Okay,
So an automobile is not necessarily a car if it's a household good.
But
I mean, an automobile was actually created before a driver's license was ever created.
All right, everyone, today's court hearing is definitely one to watch. We've got another self-declared sovereign citizen who's trying the same old arguments that just don't hold up in court. He claims he wasn't driving, he was traveling. But as most of us know, that kind of argument doesn't change the law. He continues speaking over the judge, throwing out random legal jargon in an attempt to avoid responsibility. It's clear he thinks these tactics will somehow work, but they're only making things worse. To be honest, the judge stayed quite calm during the whole situation. Maybe a little too calm. Some might say she could have taken stronger control of the courtroom earlier on. What do you think? Was the judge being too lenient, or did she handle it the right way? Let's dive into the footage and see just how far this man takes his argument.
You hear me?
Yes, okay. I hear you.
So you're before the court on 2019 CR 04954 for driving on a suspended or revoked license, no license, failure to display license, or failure to have license on person. I'm not sure, it cuts off, and no tag or expired or invalid tag. So that's on the first case. On the case from 2020 03114, you have a suspended or revoked license. You're represented by Lister and Holt on one of the cases, but not on the other. Did you want Lister and Holt to represent you, or did you want to represent yourself?
I'll represent myself.
On both cases?
Yes, ma'am. I have a quick question as far as locker term when it comes to driver's license.
Okay.
Okay, you're only allowed to have one driver's license, and I have an Alabama driver's license. So when I get pulled over, I actually show them my Alabama driver's license, and it's current. It's the most current, and so they make a determination if they should go off the Georgia driver's license or the Alabama driver's license. And when I present the Alabama driver's license, they let me go because my Alabama license is valid, and you're only allowed to have one. And I had Alabama license first, so my
I believe this sounds like a not guilty.
Okay, so Mr. Resto, what Mr. Taylor is saying is this is something that you could prove at trial. If you present that information at trial, then that means you want to go to trial instead of taking a plea. I don't know what the recommendation is, and I don't know.
Well, the recommendation was, I think I've been dealing with this case for an awful long time now, so I don't really want to go to trial. I just want to get it behind me. But I think that I remember the recommendation quite clear. They offered me 40 hours of community service. Is that still on the table?
Okay, no, Mr. Resto, it's more than that. So let me explain.
Well, this gentleman is actually trying to negotiate during the pre-hearing, like he's at a flea market instead of a courtroom. You can see why the judge and prosecutor are struggling to keep a straight face. It's honestly hard to believe some people still try these tactics. The way he delivered his argument, with full confidence, makes it even more surprising. I can't imagine being a judge and having to hear this kind of thing on a regular basis. Personally, I'd be handing out contempt charges pretty quickly. What do you think of the prosecutor so far? I have to say, his reactions and comments are pretty entertaining in this one. Let's jump back in and see how it all unfolds.
Why I know it's more than that. So the basic fines and fees for driving on a suspended license is the first time in 5 years. If you get one, then you can enter a NOLO plea if you have a NOLO plea eligible to you, and then the fine is $500. But if you get a second one, the fine goes to $1,000. A third one, the fine goes to $1,500 and 10 days mandatory jail time. You have a second one, which means that you might be able to enter a NOLO to the first one, but then the second one is outstanding. So when you took a plea to the second one, that would definitely suspend your license. So that's what's on the table.
Okay, now if I enter like an oral motion of dismissal based on constitutional grounds, are you standing on your constitutional oath?
Okay, I'm not sure what that is. So I have taken an oath to uphold the Constitution and to make sure that I treat people as the law would direct me to do so. So,
Okay. Well, I asked this question previously when I was in your courtroom one day in regards to the right to travel under the 14th Amendment, stating that citizens do not need a permit to travel with a horse-drawn carriage, wagon, or automobile without interference by police. And I was on a public highway actually when I got pulled over. The
okay, so
highway.
that's not actually in the Constitution.
And
So
I
the
don't
right to
believe
travel, the right
automobiles
to
were
travel.
around when the 14th Amendment was ratified.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
I just wanted to point out to the court that automobiles hadn't been invented when the 14th Amendment was ratified. That
Yeah,
may have been a fact.
it says automobile, horse-drawn wagon, or carriage.
Okay,
So
so
an
Mr.
automobile is not necessarily a car if it's a household good. It's just a form of transportation. It doesn't matter if it's an automobile, horse-drawn wagon, or carriage, because it's still a form of transportation, and citizens have the right to travel without interference by police. So I don't even know how the police are even allowed to interfere with travel when I'm not using my vehicle for commerce,
Your Honor,
and
at
Hold
this
on, Mr.
totally
Taylor.
private household good.
Why isn't the judge stepping in to stop the sovereign citizens rambling? Honestly, I'm a bit puzzled. Judges have every right and responsibility to maintain order in their courtroom. It's their job to keep things focused and prevent people from wasting everyone's time with off-topic or baseless arguments. You can even see the prosecutor starting to get frustrated, practically urging the judge to move things along. The judge absolutely has the authority to take control here, but for some reason, she's choosing not to. Situations like this are part of why the court system gets so bogged down. These types of hearings shouldn't drag on for 20 minutes when the core issue could be handled in just a couple. Maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I think more people should be talking about it. Should this judge be more assertive, or is she handling it the right way? I'm not entirely sure, but let's head back in and see how the rest unfolds.
Okay, so Mr. Resto, if somebody drove 100 miles an hour into the back of your vehicle and killed your a family member, would you want the police to interfere?
That's a murder. I mean, that's if someone got killed.
But they're traveling. You can't interfere with somebody traveling.
No, I mean you can't. It's stating that a police just can't interfere with your traveling, like pulling you over for a traffic violation or a tag.
But you
You're
want them
not.
to
You can't.
interfere if
Now,
somebody.
if you murder somebody because of
Well, okay.
sovereign.
Say you don't murder them. Say you just hurt them. Say you just damaged the vehicle. You don't want the police to interfere.
No. That because that's when it almost becomes like an accident or a crime or whatnot. So the police can. That's not really an interference. An interference with your traveling, not an interference when two citizens engage in an accident. It's interfering with you just traveling. Now, police officers, as far as public servants, they have a duty to serve to the people. So if a car accident occurs, then of course public servants, as far as ambulance, as far as firemen, they will come to the scene just as a service. But for you to just interfere in my traveling is actually a violation of the Constitution.
Well, sir, the Constitution and the cases that have come out of the constitutional jurisprudence allow cities and states and municipal organizations to regulate travel for the benefit of the citizens. So they can put reasonable regulations on travel, meaning you can have a license. They can grant you the privilege of having a license to drive. They can regulate how your license is seen. If you don't have a license, or if your license is suspended, they can intervene to take your license away or your privilege to drive away. It is a crime. You can be convicted of not driving under a proper license. So the government is allowed to intervene in a lot of ways with people traveling. So I'm not sure where this information comes from, but there's a lot of stuff on the internet about traveling and the 14th Amendment and horse and buggies and even maritime law. But
I
all
mean,
of those things are not
an
true.
automobile was actually created before a driver's license was ever created.
This sovereign citizen actually claimed that because automobiles were invented before driver's licenses must be unconstitutional. That's a real stretch. Just because a law came after an invention doesn't mean it's invalid. By that logic, no modern law would apply to anything invented before it, like saying taxes are illegal because the IRS didn't exist when currency was first used. Driver's licenses are absolutely constitutional. They're meant to ensure that anyone operating a vehicle understands traffic laws and can drive safely. It's not a money grab. It's about public safety and keeping order on the roads. Honestly, it's not that complicated. These rules exist to protect everyone, and getting a license isn't exactly a major burden. The idea that you can just ignore laws based on when something was invented, that's not how the legal system works. You really have to wonder, does this person genuinely believe this argument, or are they just trying to avoid responsibility?
So people was actually operating their case pamphlets where people was actually operating vehicles before a driver's license ever became. That's actually, you guys are actually a conflict of interest, actually, as far as you being in cahoots with the DMV. That's a totally separate entity.
Okay,
And for
so
some
Mr.
reason,
Resto, do you want to resolve the case, because it's not
I
going
want
to
to
be
resolve the
40
case, but
hours of
I disagree with the fine amount because it changed. I would
it,
pay I would make an offer like I can do $1,000, maybe 12-month probation, but
Mr. Resto.
$2,000 that's excessive.
Mr. Resto, we're not negotiating. Those are statutory fines, meaning they're written into the law. I can't even change them.
Can I make a counter offer to the state and say it's $1,000? That can I be?
No,
Because I did do
sir.
time in jail. If the state would see that
Well,
and count,
that's why I'm saying that you may want to speak with an attorney, because certain things that they can negotiate, I can't change the statute. I can't change what's written in it, but they can negotiate. And if the solicitor wants to give you credit for time in jail in lieu of the fine, those are things that they can do that I can't do.
yeah. So I would ask to the district attorney, knowing that I did serve some days in jail, can you guys
Okay.
lower the fine and I just go ahead and end this
So,
case right now? I can do 1,000. I got $1,000 right now.
Mr.
And
Mr. Resto, so that's a conversation that you need to have with them directly without me being present, number one. Number two, the reason I keep saying you might want to go through your attorney is because they can explain to you what is already on the table and how that may or may not change, okay?
what's on the table now, man?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I would rather you have that conversation in a breakout room with the attorney who's assigned to your case and with the state, as opposed to here in the main room. One, because I have other cases that need to be addressed, and two, because that's not information I need to hear.
Okay, is it anything I can do to get this case resolved now? Because it's been lingering on.
I'm telling you what to do, but you're not listening, Mr. Reston. Mr. Resto,
I mean, today, like, I want to resolve this today.
I get that you want to resolve it today, and I'm telling you what to do, but you're not listening to me. I said you can go into a breakout room with your attorney, and the attorney and you can discuss what's already on the table. And then if your attorney wishes to speak with the state to clarify anything, they can do that too. But you're not going to get it resolved by going back and forth with me, because there's stuff I cannot do.
Okay. Just tell the state that I'll take their recommendation. I'll just pay the $2,000 if they can give me 12 months to pay it off. And if I pay it off early, if my probation can be terminated, that would be great.
And just like that, the sovereign citizen left the hearing, walked right out. No surprise, the judge likely issued a bench warrant after that move. But don't worry, I've got his second court appearance coming up tomorrow, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Let's be honest. This was a textbook example of someone trying to dodge a simple $2,000 fine by using pseudo-legal arguments. Saying you're traveling instead of driving doesn't erase the law. Courts won't just forget your fine because of wordplay. I won't even go into a full rant. This guy just drained my brain cells. But I'm genuinely curious. Do you think the judge was too lenient here? Personally, I do, but I'd love to hear your take. If you enjoy these courtroom breakdowns, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if there's a case you'd like me to cover, drop it in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, everyone.